All right, welcome back to Brush Up Your Game / the Shipyard. It's all one big happy family here. By we I mean Jerry and myself, have a look at Ships of the Line Faction Pack. So Jerry, welcome in, and
Yep,
I am excited to look at this stuff. I hope you are as well.
100%.
I think just from my initial thoughts, there is a lot of good, a lot of interest, some future proof stuff like you and I have talked about, and a lot of kind of Easter eggs, I think is a
Yes,
good way to put it.
yes.
So,
Yep, I feel like this pack is a good pack overall, and we'll definitely talk about that towards the end.
yeah, of course. All right, let's jump in. The Prometheus class. And I say the Prometheus class because we have two named ships here.
Yes,
Um, that is fun. That is a lot of fun to get two named ships, and it is something as a whole I have been wanting, asking for. Is like, hey, you give us the model, give us like two names for it. Why not? It's what they do in X-wing.
yep,
Like,
that's true.
like, more is good. Options.
Yes,
I love my
options.
options.
Absolutely.
So let's kick it off with the USS Prometheus. This says if this ship is equipped with the Federation prototype hook upgrade, Prometheus class restricted upgrades equipped to the ship cost 2 less points and cannot be affected by opposing upgrades.
Yes,
That's the Federation prototype we'll get to at the end, just because of the way card numbers are set up. But there are some pretty cool Prometheus only upgrades, multi vector assault mode. Uh, and being able to say you can't mess with those, I think that's a nice ability.
yeah, absolutely. And, in my notes of looking at the card, I have written down here test bed discounts
Yeah.
because it's the first of its class. It is the prototype, and it's getting all these discounts for Prometheus only tech. It's gonna be fun to play.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, the slot loadout here is great. Two crew, two weapon, two tech. Tons of available options to you.
Yes.
5145, great protective and great offensive capabilities here. You're not getting one shot in this ship, and at
Not at
28
all.
points, it's expensive, but it's not overly expensive given that you're going to get a discount on some of
Yep.
the upgrades you're putting on this.
Yep. On top of that, the named Prometheus from the old one is a 2 points discount. So it is a little bit cheaper than the old
Okay. All right. Let's jump to the Cerberus. I
one. All
think,
right.
yeah. Also, same stat line, same slot loadout.
Yes.
One point cheaper, but no upgrade discount. When attacking with a Federation weapon upgrade, think your photon torpedoes, quantum torpedoes, and various other things. Convert a battle station into a hit. If the defending ship is a Dominion ship, convert a battle station into a crit instead.
Yes. So for those who are kind of wondering where the ship name comes from, I did my research on these, and the Cerberus is actually William Ross's flagship before the Belferon that we saw on DS9.
Okay.
And it comes from the Avatar novel, Avatar Book One. So it's a Dominion War flavored novel that they pulled the ship from. So that's where the Dominion faction targeting comes from.
Okay. Is that where we get Kirk's Avatar of Tomed? Or is that a completely different novel series?
I think that's a completely different novel
Okay.
series.
I just I connect a name and I'm like, yeah. I
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
My Star Trek book knowledge is like the Destiny trilogy and then Titan books,
Oh yeah.
and onward from there. So I have knowledge in that area, but not the stuff they're
Yep.
drawing from, at least not yet.
Nope. So yeah, a lot of these names that we'll see, they actually dig deep down into the lore of some of the books, especially Dominion War era books. Um, but as we get there, I'll explain more where the names came from.
Yeah, I like the Cerberus. I think it's a solid ship. It means you can focus on more of like your blank conversions rather than your battle
Yeah,
station conversions. And action wise, you're maybe looking more at target locks or scans or even evade rather than your battle station action.
that's a good point. It definitely varies the playstyle
Yeah.
or the action style that you want to take.
The generic, and you do get two copies of the generic. They're both double crew, double tech, single weapon. So you're losing a weapon slot. Kind of hurts, but doesn't like kill the ship.
Right. Yeah, and that's those generics are a 4 point discount from the old, so it is recosted down by four.
Yeah.
Um, and for those wondering, the generics are actually the name ships are double sided, so the generics are on the back side of the named ships.
Oh, okay. That is a
Yep.
fun way to do it. Well,
Yep.
I like
I
that.
thought too.
Save some card space. Although for
Yeah.
people who sleeve with colored backs, Jeff, unfortunate there.
Yeah. Me. Me too.
Yeah. I sleeve in penny sleeves, so I'm like, yeah, whatever. All right. Let's go to the Akira class, and we get the USS Akira. There's a bit of a theme developing here, and we'll see why that is later. But the USS Akira is a 4253 crew triple weapon and a tech. And it has two abilities here. Combat phase, you may move your red target lock token to an opposing ship within range 1 to 3, even if that ship is cloaked. So now you're not target locked, and your opponent has a target lock on somebody in their own fleet. Yeah, not exactly helpful to
Safe.
them.
I think that ability is huge.
Oh, it's amazing. With the
Huge.
proliferation of secondary weapons and things that utilize target locks, this is amazing.
Right.
But it's like, but wait, there's more. When attacking, deal damage step, you may acquire a target lock on the defending ship.
Yep. Cherry on top.
It is. It won't help you, but the nice thing is, even if you've dealt 0 damage, you still go through the deal damage step. So you
Yep.
still get that target lock.
Yep. I guess my only question with that last part is if the defending ship is cloaked, do you still get the target lock?
Acquire. I think acquire you do, because it doesn't say a free action target lock.
It would say perform.
It doesn't say perform the target lock action, it says acquire. So
Still.
I'm going to think that it works. The fun side of me says, why not? You were able to attack them, so you knew where they were at least momentarily.
Right. Yeah.
Thematically, I think I can justify that.
Yep. Yep. And I think definitely think this ship's gonna get a lot of play, especially with the the amount of cloaking fleets that get played,
Yeah.
and no spoilers or anything, but the next pack that we'll review, you're definitely gonna want to have a USS Secure running around.
Yes. Yeah. The Tall Shiar pack. Boy, that's got some fun stuff.
Yeah.
All right. The USS Geronimo is the other Akira class, and I know I've heard this in the books, but
Yep. I couldn't nail it down to a specific book. Um, the only instance I could find is it's one of the Akira classes that took place fought in the first battle of Chintaka
okay.
in D9. So it's one of those random Akiras that you see on screen.
Yeah. Which, even just saying, okay, it was part of Dominion War battles. Okay. Here comes the
Yeah.
ability. When defending, you may re-roll a blank. If the attacking ship is a capital ship, you may also add an evade. That makes sense. It went up against some pretty heavy Dominion ships.
Yep.
It's a defensive ship. This is a nice ability.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think it makes gosh, I'm blanking the 5 cost, the strategist, the guy that played that puzzle game against Data in season 2 of Next Gen.
Oh, Kolrami?
Yeah, Kohlrami, where if you completely negate the attack of a ship, you get to make an attack back against them type thing.
Yeah.
But this is close. This is a ship that you might be able to make it work on.
Yeah, that's true.
At least we're getting there. I want to see Sirna Kohlrami work. I've got to. Maybe that'll be a challenge some days to make a ship where he works.
Yeah. That could be fun.
And the Geronimo follows the Akira. But wait, there's more. When attacking a Federation ship, you may roll 2 less attack dice, place an Ox token beside the defending ship.
Yep. And I know people are probably thinking that seems out of place. Why would I do that? The ability, it reminds me of the episode Message in a Bottle from Voyager, when the Romulans have the Prometheus and they're heading towards the border, and you got ships coming in to try and disable the Prometheus before it crosses the border.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it reminds me of. They're not shooting to kill, they're shooting to disable.
I see this ability as getting a lot more use in missions than the all-out fight till the death scenarios. But there are cards that say if the opposing ship has an Ox power token, get this benefit. And I think there's at least a little utility here.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not saying there's not. I mean, you could definitely, pair it with like Ferengi photon torpedoes.
Yep.
And sure, you'll be only rolling, I think, 1 dice at that point, but you're adding 2 Ox powers on. There's ways to slow the ship down.
Absolutely.
Negate actions.
So, I think the Geronimo's absolutely playable. I don't think it's amazing, but I think it's a playable, solid ship.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. The generic Akira does get a 2-point discount off of these named ships. It's down to 21. At the downside of losing a tech slot.
Apologize.
And so 21 for a crew triple weapon and a 4252. I'm not hating it, but I'm also not loving it.
Well, that seems like we got a delivery.
Ah.
Yeah, so the generic Akira is, I think it's the same as all the other Akiras we've gotten so far.
Yeah.
From Alliance and then from Tibble Go.
So nothing different there.
Yeah, no. It's definitely a chassis that we've had already.
Yeah. All right. The Sovereign class. And, I do enjoy the Sovereign class. This is a nice one.
We've had 1 Sovereign class this whole time. And now I feel like we're getting showered with 2 more.
We are. Which will be nice. I think this will be it's an interesting dial on the Sovereign class. It's definitely something to play, and even with a reprint of the Enterprise E, it's still a ship that didn't get enough widespread distribution, and people haven't been able to get it to the table like they probably would like to have. So, at least now there's ways to get more in play. So let's kick it off. The USS Sovereign, 5155. This is, solid stat line there. Triple crew, weapon tech. If equipped with an admiral, you may perform the equipped card's fleet action as a free action this round. Well, that seems like a no-brainer of where to put your admiral.
Yep.
I mean, kind of, why not, right?
It's a lead ship.
This is your capital cruiser. Because the next part of the ability, if equipped with an ambassador, once per game, planning phase, you may cancel your active negotiations. Activate your negotiation effect targeting a different opposing ship. Now, active negotiations. Jerry, would you care to explain what that means?
Yeah, so I did reach out for more clarification on exactly what the term active negotiations means. And so active negotiations encompass everything that is a kind of like a continuous effect. So if you accept negotiations and there's a token that's following you around, because it's given an effect, that's an active negotiation. Or if you even deny a negotiation, but there's a token that's following you across the board, giving you those effects, that's technically an active negotiation too. So this ability, effectively, you can use your ambassador more than once per game. Now those effects that only happen or trigger once and then they're gone, those do not fall into this category.
Okay. So it makes sense to me. Active negotiations are anything, good or bad, that just keep going. So
yeah, absolutely.
So this essentially lets you re-trigger your ambassador, which is gigantic, right? We're seeing more play with ambassadors, what they can do, and you're letting your opponent remake a choice, but you're also dictating when that's going to happen.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It changes the way you may view some ambassadors.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm going to have to do a new video rejudging all the ambassadors in the game, simply because this exists.
Yeah, and I think this is like the first official card that's not an ambassador that calls out an ambassador for doing something.
Yes.
I know there's a card that I think it's Sherlock Data Home or Sherlock Data where you can discard any card.
Yes.
I think that was the only one that could technically touch an admiral. But now you've got this that can make an admiral do something.
Yeah, an admiral or an ambassador on Sherlock Holmes.
Oh yeah,
Sherlock Data. No, you're good. I mean, there's so many terms now, and it's like, how do I keep them all straight? And, even if the Sovereign had just those two abilities, it would be great. But there's even more. If it's equipped with the Federation prototype, the hook upgrade, when defending, you get to roll +1 defense die. And you're going to see in a bit, there's no reason not to run the Federation prototype on this ship.
Yep, I mean, you pair this with, say, Hood Riker, Tom Paris, you're all of a sudden got a Sovereign that's got 3 defense dice.
That's scary. Like, just that thought. Okay, it doesn't have the same offensive capability that the Enterprise E does with its amazing named ability.
Yeah.
But a defensive Sovereign that's firing 5 attack dice every turn? Yeah. I don't know that I want to play against that. Ever.
It sounds fun to play.
It sounds really fun to play. This ship sounds really fun to play. It becomes a priority target for your opponent.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. Like, I want this game to be fun, and the Sovereign just feels fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right, I'm probably going to butcher the other named one here. It's the USS Musashi.
Yep.
Yeah, Musashi. I'll get there. I'll get that cleanly at some point. And boy, this is fun. When a friendly Federation ship within range 1 is attacking, that friendly ship may roll +1 attack die. Okay, a little bit of Denatra flair there. If that friendly ship is a sovereign class ship, it may also add 1 hit. Okay, so now I'm picturing the Musashi plus the Enterprise E in a fleet. Yep. If the defending ship is a Borg ship, that friendly ship may also convert either a blank or a battle station into a crit. I'm definitely picturing the Musashi plus the Enterprise E.
Yeah.
In, say, the First Contact scenario.
Ooh.
Where you know you're up against Borg. This is a fun mission ship, but it's also just, if your meta has Borg in it at all, bring the Musashi, bring the Enterprise E, and I don't think Borg will be a problem anymore.
I mean, you can go a step further, bring the other faction targeted cards, like Turan, throw him as captain, target Borg, maybe throw him another dice, get another defense dice through it. Shelby for a good measure.
Yeah, bring the Sovereign along, bring Admiral, I think it's Admiral Ross.
Yeah.
That brings, lets you target a faction and give extra attack dice.
Yep, there's that one. Or is it, what's the other guy? Hayes?
It's Hayes. Yeah. Hayes. Should have been Ross, but it's Hayes. Interesting thing about the Musashi. So whereas the Sovereign is triple crew weapon tech, the Musashi is double crew, double weapon tech.
Yep.
So... just a different slot loadout. Still 29 points. I really like the Musashi. I actually like both of these Sovereign class ships. I could see running both of them in a fleet. I even see a triple Sovereign fleet developing.
That would be fun.
You would have to buy 2 packs or a second Enterprise E to have 3 Sovereign models. But kind of why not? At this point,
yeah,
money's the why not, but it's fun.
So if anybody's wondering about the names for those two, the Sovereign is called the Sovereign because we're getting all the prototype ships, but the Sovereign is also in lore through the Starfleet Corps of Engineers novel What's Past, and we'll get. There's more Easter eggs inside of this pack for those novels, because I know the Starfleet Corps of Engineer novels are one of the better series out there.
Yeah, I need to read them, but
yeah, they're really good.
There's a lot of things I need to read. I'm working on them.
Musashi is also a Starfleet Corps of Engineer book. That one was called War Stories Book 1.
Ooh.
So that was definitely a Dominion War flavored one.
Okay. All right. We have one more ship class here. Actually, sorry, we have the generic Sovereign. It's down to 25 points.
Yeah, huge discount.
Double crew weapon tech.
5-point discount.
Yeah. That's a nice discount.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's not amazing, but it's still, I think it's enough where it's cheap enough. If you had to run generic ships for like 100-point battle, you could do a lot worse than 4 Sovereign class ships.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing.
I don't know. I picked 100 because 25 times 4 is 100, but then you have no captains, so there's bad things. But anyway, it's a nice carrier for what there is. All right, the Saber class. We got the USS Saber at 16 points, crew double weapon tech. Saber class not changing anything, 3233. But the ability here is pretty nice. This ship and each other friendly ship within range 1 gain the effect listed based on the number of friendly ships within range 1 of this ship when attacking or defending. So if there's one friendly ship within range 1 of this ship, you get to re-roll a blank. And that is both attacking and defending. Not bad at all. For 2, so if there's 2 friendly ships within range, you get to convert a blank into a battle station. That can work, or maybe it's better to just re-roll. So you gotta make your choices there. But if there are 3 or more ships in range 1 of the saber, you get to convert a blank into either a hit or an evade. That's probably your golden ticket there.
Yep.
So swarm fleets.
It is a true support ship.
It is. I mean, the saber plus a bunch of, say, Dominion or Jem'Hadar cruisers, the little bugs.
Yeah.
You can fit 5, 6 ships or Burrells. This is your little support ship for them.
Yeah, and I mean, and it's cheap. It's not as cheap as a Burrell, but 16 points.
Yeah,
you can fit it in.
You can fit it in, and having a defensive support as well is something that it could make the difference between you getting one shot and living through a round.
Yep. Yeah.
So.
Absolutely.
I'm going to have to tweak a lot of things or play with some things here with the saber. But I think there's good potential for what this can do. I don't think it's meta redefining by any means. But I think it can be fun, especially with multi-attackers.
Yep. I just want to highlight something you said there, and that's that you want to play with the saber. I own a couple of, I own the Jaeger and the Montgolfier.
Yeah.
I've never played them. Never had them on the table.
I don't think I've ever brought them by choice.
I want to play the saber.
Ah, yeah. No, and it's a really good point you make. I think everything we've played so far, I sit here going, I want to play that. I want to try that. I want to mess around with a build of that to see if I can make it work.
Yeah, I mean, and we're not even done yet. We still got one more named ship to go.
We do. But so far, we're 7 for 7.
True.
The USS Da Vinci.
There she is.
This is the saber I think we all wanted. From the beginning.
Everybody expected, yeah.
Yeah. And I think maybe selfishly Steven pushed for it. I think a lot of people pushed for it, but this is good. Now this gets a discount. This is down at 15, whereas the saber's at 16. So the Da Vinci is combat phase. If there's a scan token beside this ship, target an opposing ship within range 1 to 2, place 1 time token on the target ship's card. You can spin that scan token beside this ship and disable a weapon upgrade equipped to the target ship.
Yeah, that ability right there, it feels to me like it's an engineer solving a problem.
It is.
Like, they just beam down the ship to disable something real quick and then come back, to save their bacon for another day. Because your opponent can be lined up for a perfect shot. They're at range 2, they've got this awesome torpedo boat, all the conversions in the world, and then you place the time token on and disable that torpedo at the beginning of the combat phase, so there's no re-enabling for them.
Right. Well, even putting a time token on the Sao Paulo, now it doesn't get its battle station. Or its recurring battle station.
Oh, that's true. It's placed a time token on the target ship's card.
Yeah.
Okay.
You are knocking out...
I had it backwards.
Yeah, you're knocking out the ship's ability.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah. And then you can knock out a weapon. And the cool thing is putting a disable token on a weapon. They got to spend an action to get it back.
Yep.
So, I don't like saying it, but I feel like the Da Vinci got underpriced.
I'm not going to say it.
Look, the Da Vinci easily could have been 16 and nobody would have complained.
It's true.
I am happy at 15. This is another ship that works nicely as part of a swarm fleet, and my favorite thing, the ganking fleet.
Yeah,
See,
it's just designed to mess with you.
yeah, people always ask, how can I counter what my opponent's doing when I don't necessarily know what they're doing? Stuff like this.
Yep.
This is how you solve a problem that you don't when you don't know what that problem's going to be.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
So you just got to get a little creative with it. So I think we just went 8 for 8 with named ships where we want to at least try what's going on with them.
Guilty.
So, all right. I threw movement cards up there just so everyone can see what the movement cards are. Nothing's changed. The Akira and Saber are both slow. They don't go faster than 4. But the Saber's nice that it doesn't have a red on its dial except the 3 come about. The Sovereign and Prometheus basically have identical dials except the Sovereign's 6 forward is red. And the Sovereign does 1 banks and the Prometheus does 4 banks. So,
Yeah.
little trade-offs there, but
real quick before we move on to or move past the ships. So one of the hidden Easter eggs that people may not have picked up on, it's the ship images themselves. So those ship images, I don't know where they got them from, but they are custom to this set. The paint jobs that you see on them are the paint jobs you're getting in the pack.
Oh.
So those are the exact paint jobs that you're getting. And I've seen the models, and the Akira is the paint on it's amazing. It's the Akira is my favorite one that's painted. The Saber's got an awesome underneath side that's painted towards the deflector dish.
Okay.
And the Sovereign does have all that blue on it. The Sovereign doesn't look terrible. It's got a lot of blue.
I can work with that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The other day I saw these plans for a potential Star Trek 11 with the next gen crew. It obviously was canceled after Nemesis did not get the box office results. But the ship, because it had been in space dock, was going to get a refit and was going to have more of like an Aztec paint design on the primary hull. And I saw it. I need to go find it again. But it would have looked really cool, especially on the big screen.
Oh, so. Man. Yeah, I'll have to look that up.
Anyway, that's for another day. All right. Our first captain in the pack, George Sanders. And in fact, the only pure captain in the pack. He is skill 7. Will only cost you 3 points. And that's a pretty good deal, I will add. After a friendly Federation ship within range, and that's range 1 to 2, is hit, you may perform a 1 straight or bank maneuver. If this ship has the Federation prototype equipped, you may perform a 1 bank or a 1 turn maneuver instead. So you want him not on the prototype ship, but on a ship near the prototype ship, is my understanding.
Yeah, I'm reading the text again. Yeah, I guess it's a little unclear as to whether it's his ship or the friendly ship.
Yeah.
Because the way I'm reading it is a friendly ship gets hit, and then your ship moves in to kind of help save the day.
Okay, I guess. Yeah, it would make more... Thematically, it makes more sense if his ship is the one with the prototype upgrade.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll buy that. See?
And so people might be wondering where he's from exactly. Obviously, they were able to pull a card, so he was in one of the shows. He was in DS9, the episode entitled For the Uniform.
Oh,
that's the one where they went to go get Michael Eddington.
Yeah.
and he was the captain of the Malinche, the Excelsior class that they were able to disable
Okay.
from the Maquis word. But more importantly, why he's in this particular pack is because he's also from the novel series, Starfleet Corps of Engineers. It's called The Future Begins. He was actually the captain that did the shakedown cruise of the USS Sovereign.
Okay.
So that's kind of where he's coming in and fitting into this picture.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and you're thinking about the ability, having a one turn on a Sovereign or maybe even a Galaxy class. Well, Galaxy class eventually, hopefully.
Hopefully.
But even the Banks, just getting that extra movement for one of those bigger ships, could be enough to turn it so that it can fire or return fire.
And it can change the entire complexity of the combat phase, because it's the moment that ship's hit.
Yep. Yeah, so you may choose to take a damage card.
Yeah. And not spend and evade, then you turn your ship. Now you have a different line of fire at skill 7.
Yeah.
And it changes who you can target. It gives you a ton of choice. For a mid-range captain, I like what he brings in terms of choices here. There's a lot going on where you're going to have to think about how you play the combat phase out.
Yeah.
And you also give your opponent things to think about.
Yeah, skill 7, 3 cost.
Yeah.
That's a good savings too.
It is. Normally skill 7s are 4.
Yeah, looking back at to Boldly Go, I mean, we got Captain Keo, skill 7, cost 4.
Yeah. And having the talent slot, because not all captains get talent slots. So, I mean, you do have to be taking damage to your fleet in order to make this work. So it's not a perfect ability, but it is still a fun one.
Yeah.
Right. All right, I threw up crew Benjamin Sisko here. Only because we only have the one solo captain. We'll get into the admiral captains here in a minute. But Benjamin Sisko is a crew. That's fun. Don't get me wrong. Yep. But what he does for 3 points, mind you. Combat phase. Place an Ox Power token beside this ship. Remove either 2 time tokens or a disable token from a Federation weapon upgrade equipped to this ship. All right. Reasonably good here. I could actually see him working on the Sao Paulo to re-enable some of those multi-attack weapons. If this ship has the Federation prototype upgrade equipped, place a battle station token beside the ship. So that's a nice bonus. I don't know that I'm absolutely in need of that second part, but it's a nice cherry on top.
Yep, and really with the advent of Fed torpedoes and how often they get used on cross-faction ships, being able to remove the disabled token in the combat phase, 2 time tokens from any other Federation weapon, improved phasers, as you said, the phaser cannons.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily need the battle station part, but it's nice to have.
Absolutely it is.
And really, that's all at the cost of an Ox Power token that you can get rid of at the next turn.
Yeah. I mean, hey, you could throw this on the NX Enterprise, and now you've got your Ox Power token, you've helped yourself, you've removed stuff off of weapons, and you get more dice to fire.
Oh, you mean the Avenger?
Oh, sorry, the Avenger, yes. NX is the improved hull plating, yeah.
You're absolutely right on that.
Right model, wrong ship. Expensive to do that. I don't know if it's totally worth it, but it's at least a play.
Yep. There's something to be said there.
Yeah. Probably not worth it in the big picture, but yeah.
So, I mean, Benjamin Sisko, with him being a crew, I think this is a callback to his days between Wolf 359 and DS9.
I think so.
Where he was at Utopia Planitia creating the Defiant class.
Yeah.
Which, don't worry, this pack doesn't have a Defiant class in it, but we'll get there.
Yeah. I hadn't thought about that. That's a good point. All right. Strickler as a captain and as an admiral. Now, I believe... Is he one of the DS9 admirals?
He is not. He's a Voyager admiral.
Voyager. Okay. That's why I'm blanking on it. I'm working my way rewatching all of Star Trek, and I'm most of the way through Next Gen. I've started in on DS9, and I'm doing it as it aired.
Okay.
So that's why my Voyager is old.
Sure, yeah.
So it's like I can't place them.
Yeah, he's from the episode. It's called Non Sequitur. That's the one where Harry Kim was in the shuttlecraft and got sent back to Earth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's an alternate timeline thing, which is interesting because they didn't put this as the
mirror
universe. Yeah.
That would have been a cool way to get a mirror admiral in.
That's true.
Or another one. I know we have Admiral Worf, but yeah. So Strickler is a captain, skill 4 with a talent slot. That's fun. We don't get a lot of low skill with talent captains. 2 points. If when attacking, if the defending ship has a hull value of 3 or less, add 1 hit. I like that already. If the defending ship is an independent ship or has an independent captain equipped to it, add 1 crit instead.
Yeah.
I can see that getting play.
Yeah, I mean, he is going to be a captain that you want if you're going up against like a Burrell Swarm.
Yep.
It's got Lurin's Bird of Prey hiding in there. The Kaskari.
Yep.
Blood Oath hiding in there. On top of that, you throw this guy on a Burrell. Torpedo Fusillade. Firing at another Burrell Swarm that's all got a hull of 3.
That's nice. That's nice. Yeah.
He's a low skill, which kind of hurts him, but there's an upside here.
There is. Well, and so I've liked the Riker that gives you an extra attack die against low hull ships and an extra defense die against, or maybe it's high hull ships.
High hull.
Yeah. This is a very similar effect except for low hull ships. And I think it's a nod to the design team, the playtest team that understands that swarms are a big thing and we need something to at least threaten a counter. We need more tools for that. And Strickler's here providing it, and I like that it exists. Plus, we see a lot of independent captains that'll cross over. Khan moves over, Carr moves over. Those are the big 2.
Yeah, those are definitely the big 2.
And they'll go on just about anything. But, I mean, and it's future-proof. There's a ton of independent captains, or captains who could be independent, that can come out. I'm thinking a Captain Galen, or at least a crew Galen that could function as a captain. Sort of thing.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
The whole Fortune Marauder concept. There's Packlids that can come out from lower decks that could shake up the whole independent faction.
Great sentence, but yes.
Yes. Yeah, who would have ever thought Packlids could shake a meta? Or that we'd have hopes that they could.
Right? Love it.
All right. But Strickler as an admiral does something completely different. And I'm here for it. because
Yes.
I love captains and admirals being the same card but not doing the same thing. Strickler as an admiral says fleet action, target this ship or a friendly ship within range 1 to 2. Target ship performs either a 1 bank left or a 1 bank right. If the target ship has the Federation prototype hook upgrade, you may remove an Ox power token from beside that ship. Note it did not say do a green maneuver. It's a white, but
Yep.
you get to remove an Ox with it.
If it's got the Federation prototype.
Yeah, it's fun. I like it on the Sovereign, right? Free action to do a bank.
Yep.
Why not?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're feeding back into this movement game thing, which is completely fine.
Yeah. Who would have thought a flight path game about flying?
Pair him with Sanders.
Ooh.
Get a fleet action, get an action movement, and then a friendly ship takes damage. Then you take another movement to get even closer.
Yeah. And some of the independent stuff like Chakotay, the Tuvok that gives the movement after you're damaged. What's the name of the Maquis Raider that does extra movement after you take damage?
The Queen.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's how you say it, but
yeah, close enough. I don't know how to say these things, but there's a whole movement fleet that can exist. So I like Strickler as an admiral. I don't think he's amazing, don't get me wrong, but he does a few things well. He's 2 points. He gives you that skill bump. He has a talent, and he has a useful fleet action that can fit in with a fleet. And more importantly, he lets you take a red maneuver and then come along and do this fleet action and get rid of it off of another ship. So, some good options. Okay, our next admiral, Theodorich Patterson. Again, probably mispronouncing Theodorich, but I'm going with it. Say it with confidence and they'll believe you.
Right.
That's what we're going with. He is a 5 skill captain with a talent slot for 3 points. When defending, if there's a scan token beside the ship, roll +1 defense die, and you may re-roll up to 2 blanks. I really want to put him on a cloaked ship.
Yes.
Because you have to assume if you're gonna roll 3 defense dice, that's when you're looking at potentially getting 2 blanks.
Yeah.
So, but you still need the ability to scan, which not most cloaking ships scan. So maybe he can go on the Defiant.
That's kind of what I was going with.
Yeah.
I think this could be a tease for a future card.
Yeah. Scratch head, maybe, sort of. Kind of.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like him, especially like you said on a cloaker. That makes a lot of sense. The cards that are in the game that currently, like Klingon Science. No, it's not. Is it Klingon Science Station that gives you? I think Klingon Science Station gives you a scan. I think, or maybe. Okay, Klingon Science Station does give you a scan, but the 2-point Klingon crew, Mara, adds it to the ship action block. So there is a way to get a scan on a cloaker, a non-Federation cloaker.
Okay.
So,
and I think the Romulans have some tricks, but like they have advanced scanning. But that's a 5-point and can only go on a Romulan science vessel unless you're willing to pay 10 points for it. They have secret research, but again, they can only go on a Romulan science vessel.
yeah, you could throw Chulak out there from the Vulcan set. He'll give you 3 scans.
Okay.
Overkill, but 3 scans for discarding a crew. So you'd have to have a couple extra crews to get more use out of him, but where there's a will, there's a way.
I'll put it to you this way. Alliance gave us the science officer that gave you scan tokens. And we've been told that there will be a Klingon and Romulan pack for Alliance. So maybe those will give us ways of getting scan tokens.
Yeah.
So I think Theodorich Patterson will only get better as the game goes. As it is, I mean, hey, worst case scenario, you bring like Hood Riker, you bring anything else that adds a defense die, and he's at least potential.
Yeah.
So I think he's at least viable. All right. His Admiral side, still 3 points. That's one thing they haven't done, is given us a different cost for the Captain and Admiral side.
It's true. I didn't even notice that.
That could be fun someday. Still space they can explore. Fleet action. Target the ship or a friendly ship within range 1 to 2. I do like that change, that you can target yourself or a friendly ship.
I think that was important in their text update that they did.
Yes. That's a big difference, because Admirals not being able to target their own ship hurt.
Yeah. It didn't make any thematic sense.
No, not at all. For the rest of his ability, place a scan token beside the target ship. If the target ship is within range 1 of a non-planet obstacle, you may repair 1 hull on the target ship. If the target ship has the hook equipped, or has a hook equipped, you may also remove an Aux Power token from beside the ship. Now, note, that does not say Federation prototype, meaning there is potential to get more of these hook upgrades.
One of the hidden things about the text that I was informed of to watch out for.
Yes.
Sue, if people are wondering where he is from, he's also a Voyager Admiral. He is from the episode Relativity, where 7 of 9 goes back in time to stop, what's his name, Branson, from destroying the Voyager.
Ah, yeah. I like that episode.
Yep, so he's the Admiral that's walking Janeway around when Janeway is first inspecting the Voyager.
It's a shame that we got these Voyager Admirals, but we didn't get Paris.
Maybe in the future?
I would hope. I would really hope. Like,
give me a Paris and a Reg Barkley that work together.
Why not? I mean, that just seems perfect. But the one memorable Admiral from Voyager is Admiral Paris.
That's true.
And, I mean, no offense to Patterson or Strickler, but come on. It's Paris. His ability, you know, I find it at least okay. Getting a scan token, there's ways to make a scan token even better than it is. And worst case, it's a scan token plus a repair.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah, you know, that's one side of the game that was, you know, it's kind of there, but there's not a lot of cards that are in it, and it's in the healer category.
Yeah.
So, I mean, repairing one hull isn't a big thing, but it could be a big thing.
It could be. And more importantly, you know, repairing hull doesn't just have to be normal damage. It can be critical damage.
Yeah. So, I mean, you got a pesky core breach that you're hanging on to, you can repair it.
Yeah. Worth noting, the captain side is card 20, the admiral side is card 22. There is no card 21. And I'm sure that question will be asked at least 10 times.
Yep.
Is where in the world's card 21? Non-existent.
A printing error.
Yep. All right. Speaking of memorable admirals, we do finally get Admiral Nechayev. And I appreciate Admiral Nechayev. I think as a child, She was probably the one admiral I actually knew. Watching
Yeah.
Next Gen and really Next Gen. She was in like one, maybe two episodes of DS9, but she to me is the defining Next Gen admiral.
Yeah. See, she's like the first admiral when I was first watching it that I kind of recognized that crossed over.
Yeah.
Kind of linking the two shows in a way. I mean, I know there were crossovers before that, but I think this was just like the first one. Like, hey, that's a background character, but not a main character that's crossing over.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Nechayev as a captain is I find very interesting. First off, 6 skill, 4 points, and I kind of balk at that a tiny bit because we got a 7 skill, 3 points. But stick with me. When attacking, you may reroll all blanks. If the defending ship is either Borg or Dominion or Borg, sorry, misordered that. Roll +1 attack die. Passive extra attack die, fantastic, and being able to reroll blanks, it's kind of like a built-in target lock. And now you don't have to worry about taking target lock ever unless you're running secondary weapons. You can just run battle stations all day long. So I like what she brings, even though it's a slightly higher cost than I would like to pay for a 6 skill captain. I think she justifies that cost.
Yep, and people might be wondering why she's targeting those two factions. I believe in TNG she was involved in a Borg episode. Which one I don't exactly remember. In DS9 she was in the episode where the Defiant went looking for the Founders' homeworld to do negotiations with them. And then, the entire crew was captured and they were put in these stasis pods. Nechayev was involved in, like, the negotiations with the Dominion.
Yeah.
So,
I want to think the TNG, she was involved with the stuff with Hugh.
That's kind of what I thought, too.
And she was ordering Picard to go through with the code implant in Hugh.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Please don't quote me on that, but that's where I want to think she was involved with Borg.
Yeah, I think you're right. But either way, love it. There's thematicism here. It works.
Yeah. Her Admiral version is a fleet action. Target the ship and each other friendly ship within range, 1 to 2, that has a captain equipped with a printed captain skill number of 5 or less. Important distinction there. Printed captain skill. Which is good. Increase the captain skill of each target ship by up to 3. You may choose a different value for each ship until the end of the round.
Love it.
I love that ability. Being able to temporarily increase captain skill on multiple ships is great.
It's a value that you choose.
Yes.
I mean, I don't think WizKids has done anything like that before on multiple ships.
Not on multiple ships. I mean, we have, what is it? Gorn Ale, where you can choose to either go down 1 or 2.
It's true.
So that's a choice, but you almost always choose 2.
Yeah.
And so here you're boosting yourself. I think you're almost always going to choose to go up by 3.
But yeah, I've been trying to think of a scenario where you wouldn't want to, but
I think for me the one situation would be, well, George Sanders is too pricey, or has too high of a printed skill.
Yep.
I don't know.
But talking about her ability here, the meta, at least that we've seen in Fremont Reformation, is high captain skill. High captain skill is taking the day. Everybody's bringing high captain skills. This, it doesn't increase, those lower captains way up there, But all of a sudden, now we're talking about skill 5 captains at skill 8.
Right.
We're talking about making some of these smaller captains a little bit more competitive. I like that.
Right. I mean, let's take Captain Strickler in this pack. Skill 4.
Okay.
Now he's skill 7. Attacking those Brel swarms, and Brel swarms don't typically invest in the highest of captain skills.
Yeah, that's true.
At skill 7, are you out attacking them? Possibly. Hopefully. Or are you at least on par with them? Yeah, I think there's a good chance. Now, if it's... And by swarm, I'm talking, 4, really 5+ ships. I don't consider 3 to be a swarm.
No, that's a fleet.
So, I think this has play. I think it's going to be meta dependent, but there are plenty of good low skill captains. I do wish this had said 6 or less, though. But getting up to a 9 would probably be a little too good. Yeah. Hey, is what it is. I still like the ability. I do like her captain version a lot more than the admiral version. But either way, glad that it exists.
Absolutely.
All right, we get 2 engineers next. Harry Kim and Montgomery Scott. And note, this is the Relics version of Scotty. So let's talk Harry Kim first. End phase. Spend a scan token beside the ship. Remove an Ox Power token from beside the ship. If this ship has the Federation prototype, hook upgrade, repair 1 hole on this ship. For 2 points.
Finally, a cheap, useful Harry Kim.
Yes.
I mean, because Vulcans are super scan dependent now.
Uh-huh.
Scanning is becoming a thing.
Absolutely.
And WizKids is investing a lot of abilities into scanning.
And
there's ways to keep a scan token to the end phase.
Well, and you don't spend scan tokens when you attack.
Exactly, yeah.
So you almost always, if you take scan, you'll have your scan token left over. You get the bonus to attack, and you'll have that scan token to repair a hull. Now, it is limited to Federation prototype ships. But again, as we'll talk, we're saving the best for last. I know it's a carrot we're dangling here. But there's a lot of ships that are going to fit to this Federation prototype.
Yep.
So, you'll see. But yeah, I like Harry Kim. I like what he does, being able to repair and take away an Ox Power token if you have it. It's a nice 2 for. I'm really glad he costs 2. He jumps way up there on my list of very useful 2-point crew.
And just as a fun side note, again, he's from that same episode, Non Sequitur.
Yeah.
This is him on Earth. Because I think in that episode, he helped develop the runabout, or a variant of the runabout. So there's some history with him being an engineer.
That does sound right. All right. Scotty, whenever you would place an Ox Power token beside the ship, place that token on this card, up to a max of 2. And then as an action, place 2 time tokens on this card and target a ship with a hook upgrade equipped within range. If that ship is this ship or a friendly ship, it performs a 2 white straight. If that ship is an opposing ship, place any Ox Power tokens from on this card beside the target ship. That feels grammatically awkward to me.
Yeah, I kind of winced when you were reading it too.
Yeah, from, like, you could have said from this card or place any Ox Power tokens on this card. I don't think it needed from on, but
yeah. So
I can live with that.
So the first ability, awesome.
Yeah.
That invokes the Scotties that we have, where you can disable them to take away an Ox Power token or not to place it. To me, it says, "Hey, I'm fixing the engines," or the engines are at max power. We don't need this Ox token right now.
Uh-huh.
The second ability gives me super strong vibes of when he sabotaged the Excelsior in Star Trek 3.
Yes.
Making it so it couldn't go. It stalled out.
Make us go? Nah.
That's our second Pac-Man reference.
Just the picture should have been him holding some of the nuts and bolts from the Excelsior. That would have been a better picture, but don't get me wrong, I love the relics. I love that episode, and I love that you can bring Scotty, that version of Scotty, into the game.
Yeah.
So I enjoy this card. I think that it may not fit every fleet style, but I think there's a place for it. I really think there are some missions where this is absolutely amazing. So if nothing else, Scotty's going to see some good play in missions. And I think there is at least a little bit of competitive play there.
Yeah.
Again,
it's not a Federation prototype. It's the Starship Construction hook icon there.
Yes.
So that's going to be important down the road.
Yeah. And I really hope we get some awesome things with that. I want to see even more.
I hope so.
Yeah. All right. Alaska. Boy, you talk about a deep dive into DS9.
Voyager.
Oh, Voyager even. Wow, sorry.
He's Harry Kim's partner in creating the Yellowstone class. There you go.
Okay. That's okay. Now Alaska can only go on a Federation ship. Right? I've got that icon correct?
Yes.
Okay, good. Activation phase. Place 2 time tokens on this card and target this ship or a friendly Federation ship within range 1. Flip 1 face up damage card on the target ship face down. I like it. If the target ship has the Federation prototype, hook upgrade, equipped, repair 1 hole on the target ship. It costs 1 point.
Points. And it's, it may, again, seem like a very small thing, but in the grand scheme of things, if you have, say, Stun Helmsman sitting there,
yeah,
he can take care of it. You got a warp core breach that you don't want to roll for. I mean, you got to roll the planning phase side of it, but activation phase, take care of that warp core breach.
Yeah, I mean, it's useful.
Yeah, there's utility to it, and at a 1 point cost, he's an easy crew. And if you don't use him, or you get into a situation where you got to get rid of a crew, it's a 1 point crew.
Yeah. So you haven't lost everything by having to get rid of him, and you're not out a whole lot. But that moment when you need him, you're gonna have him.
Yes.
So, no, I like what he brings. 1 point cards are rare, and even rarer are 1 point cards that you actually want in your fleet on a ship.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely, if you've got a spot and you're at the 129 or 119 level where you're trying to figure out something to put on your fleet, and you have a Fed ship with a crew slot open, there you go.
Yeah, and you don't even have to have the Federation prototype going for him to be useful.
Right.
So, all right, now we get first contact to Geordi. I like it.
Geordi.
He had to wear sunglasses because you couldn't see his, or he couldn't show off his his
implants.
His fancy eyes. All right, reveal dial step. That's a bold we rarely get. When this ship reveals a straight maneuver, place 2 time tokens on this card and choose one of the listed effects. You can either treat the revealed maneuver as a green maneuver, Or you can increase the speed of the revealed maneuver by 1. The color of the maneuver remains the same as the revealed maneuver. If this ship has the Federation prototype equipped, you may choose both effects.
Okay. So I do like him.
I like him as well.
I'm thinking a situation where you've got a sovereign, and you want, or even the Prometheus. Well, no, the sovereign's got a red 6.
Yep.
You can turn that red 6 into a green 6.
Yep.
You've got an Ox and you need to get out of there real quick. You can still plan for that 6. Use Geordie and turn it into a green 6.
Yep.
Get rid of the Ox. You don't take the Ox. That's a win-win.
I was thinking that. I like him. I love him for that. I like him for some of your slower ships. We saw the Akira and Saber. They max out at 3s, so now you can have them go 4.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's restricted to straights. Yeah, yeah, I like him, even with the increasing in the speed.
Yeah. I mean, it's not amazing. It's not redefining your fleet by any means, but early game, your first set, the first round of dials. Maybe you've got Odo in your fleet. Maybe you use Odo to copy Geordie so 2 ships can increase their maneuver speed.
Yeah,
it's not bad.
So here's kind of where my brain went just now. Throw him on a Galaxy Class. Now you reveal him. The Galaxy Class has also got Ezri Dax on it.
Oh, okay.
So now you can access a 6 forward, and Ezri Dax will take away a time token on Geordie, so you can use him every round.
Huh. That's fun.
So you've got a fast Galaxy that's going to get across the board quickly to try and close that gap before you can get outmaneuvered.
Okay.
Something there.
I buy that. No, I mean, it's... Sometimes you have to think of some of these esoteric uses of cards, but I like that.
Yeah, I mean, on the surface, that sounds great. But I'm also the same guy who flew a Galaxy backwards into battle, so... I'm not the expert on flying a Galaxy.
I mean, there are times. So yeah, I think we can definitively say Geordie has uses. Again, we're seeing a lot of maneuvering. Maneuvering and healing are 2 big themes in this pack.
Yes.
I like it so far. All right. Now to the talents. We've got Fleet Coordination, a 3-point talent that must be equipped to a Federation ship with a Federation captain. Treat friendly Federation ships at range 3 as though they were at range 2 for the effects of cards equipped to this ship. So on the surface, that does basically nothing. Yet it does just about everything.
Yeah. I'm thinking, cards that are in your fleet, like Gul Turan, who are limited by range 2. He targets ships that are range 1 to 2 of himself. Now he's on a Federation ship using his action. Now you treat this ship's at range 3 of him. Now you're treating it as range 2.
Yeah.
So now he's getting the bonus. It's things like that are going to be great. Reaching out and bringing in some of the effects of the other. Now, keep in mind, it's cards that are equipped, so it's not the ships themselves. So ships like the new USS Intrepid that we have, where it targets a ship at range 1 to 2. But the captains, the crew, all the upgrades. At least that's how I understand it.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense to me as well. Um, I'm looking at
Well, I guess you couldn't
different.
use Turan because it's okay. Treat Federation ships in range as though they were range 2 for the effects of cards equipped to this ship. Okay. Because it's Federation Captain locked and he's Dominion, so you couldn't do it there.
Um, a card like Task Force. That's action. Choose a faction. All friendly ships within range 1 to 2 of your ship gain +1 attack die and roll +1 defense die against ships of that faction for this round. So that's a card that would benefit from this. Galaxy Wing Squadron targets all friendly Galaxy class ships within range 1 to 2. Target ships gain an extra attack die this round.
Ooh, Leighton.
Okay.
Captain Leighton, he could reach out at that point to range 3 to make a target ship attack last. That's one.
Okay. You know, we're stretching a little bit. I have a feeling this is a little more future proof
Yeah,
than immediate right now.
A good one. Isn't the Battle Station Picard? Okay, so you can stretch Battle Station Picard to range 3. Gives everybody a Battle Station token.
Yeah.
Again, kind of stretching it, but I think that's what the use of this card is right now. And, I mean, again, eventually they might come out with something more that interacts with better.
I'm literally looking through everything on the Utopia builder that's like Federation in range 1 or 1 to 2. There's not as much as you would hope that's Federation limited, and I think that's the challenge here.
Well, I think one of the important things to point out it's Federation ships.
True.
So the upgrades themselves don't have to be Federation.
True. And I wasn't necessarily looking at that. So there's a lot more play than we're coming up with right now. This is a card that's going to get better as people brainstorm it out.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those cards you need to have a good think about.
Yeah. So there's stuff here.
Yeah, not bad at all.
On the surface, it feels a little expensive just to extend that range band, though. That's my take on it.
Yeah, I can see an argument for that.
Because it's not doing anything unto itself, although it's not an action, it's a passive ability, it just exists.
That's true. Yeah, there's no activation of it.
So
it's just there. It's active all the time.
Yeah. But I do have a feeling you're going to need multiple talent slots to really make it shine. All right. On that note, though, let's move on to Task Force Commander. Again, has to be on a Federation ship with a Federation captain. Setup. Choose a faction. Why that's important? We'll get there. Action. Target up to 2 friendly ships within range 1 to 2. This ship and the target ships gain +1 attack and defense die against ships of the chosen faction this game round. If the target ships are Federation ships, this ship and the target ships may perform the target lock action as a free action.
So we got more of that faction targeting stuff.
Seems good.
Yeah, that's a recurring theme. Scans are a recurring theme. Healing's a recurring theme. We got some themes going on, and I'm here for it.
I like it with Ahab Picard. I like it in mission play probably even more than big play. Although, again, this is swarm hunting because a swarm of Klingon Borels is going to hate this.
Yep.
Not so much the target lock portion, but just anything that's letting the opponent roll another die against them is like, oh, we're dead.
That's true.
That's going to hurt.
Yeah, on the surface, I like it. Um, yeah, I don't really have much more to say about it. It's there. It is what it is,
Yeah.
and that's okay.
Uh huh. Okay. The last talent, Shakedown Cruise Commander, must must be equipped to a Federation captain. When you would reveal a speed 4 or higher maneuver, place 3 time tokens on this card. If this ship has a hook equipped, place only 2 time tokens instead. Perform either a 4 bank left or right maneuver of that instead of whatever speed 4 plus maneuver you revealed, and rotate this ship 90 degrees. Now that is an interesting way to rotate maneuvers, to change the orientation of your ship, because making a 4 bank and then a 90-degree turn, you're basically facing wherever you want to face.
Yep. Yep. And 4 banks, I mean, they exist in the game, but they're very rare for ships to have on the dial natively.
Yeah, what? It's Voyager, Coronac, and Prometheus class.
Yep.
Sorry, Intrepid class.
Oh. Yeah, I think those are the only 3 that come to mind. And the added bonus to the 90-degree, I mean, whatever arc you want, you're going to have.
Yeah, unless you wanted to turn around, in which case, well, tough luck.
Right, but I mean, 180-degree arc ships, this is great. Good to meet you in arc quickly. Yeah, there's some use here.
There is.
I will say for right now, there's only a couple of ships that I can go on, but
true. But down the road, in 2-3 more waves of faction packs, when we've got more of these upgrades, the construction upgrades, it's going to be way better.
Yeah,
way, way, way better. So this is one, like, it's not bad right now, but it's going to get way better as we go. So, like, if I have to give it a grade right now, I give it incomplete.
I think that's fair. I really do.
Because it just came late, or it's yet to fully develop. And
yeah, I think that's a better way.
Yeah,
it's early.
It's early.
Not terrible, because you can still use it.
And I'm happy to have it.
We're not looking at an optronic data core.
Still waiting for that to be good. Maybe someday. All right, weapons. Type 10 phasers. Has to go on a Federation ship. This card fills 2 weapon upgrade slots. When attacking with your primary weapon, roll +1 attack die and reroll up to 2 blanks. If the defending ship has no active shields, you may convert up to 2 blanks into battle stations instead. For 3 points. My initial thought here is,
Yeah, I was kind of feeling the same way. I was kind of hoping for more from it.
Yeah, I was too. Now, I will say, it does have the advantage of there's no restriction to the primary weapon level. So you can put this on a Sovereign class, and you're rolling 6 attack dice.
It's true. But, I mean, if you put it on a Sovereign, say one of the Sovereign, you can't. Well, there's only one Sovereign you can fit it on.
True.
Musashi. Looking at the Akira Class layouts, you can go on the Akira classes no problem, because every single one of them in this pack come with 3 weapon slots. the Prometheus class, you'd be taking out both your weapon slots.
Yeah, it could go on the Enterprise E. You don't want to put it on
Okay.
the Enterprise E, but it could.
I guess you could put it on the Saber class too, but again, that clears out your weapon slots.
You can put it on Prometheus.
The old one or the new one?
The old one for sure, because that had two weapon slots.
I would recommend it.
Oh, and both of the new ones.
Yeah. It takes out both of those weapon slots, so now you're
Yeah.
You can't throw anything fun up that may be coming up.
True. But there are ways to add weapon slot upgrades.
That's also true. You throw Sakona on there.
Yeah. And then you got cheaper Type 10 phasers. So, it's not bad. And I understand the restrictions coming in to limit some of the abuse with it. I get it. I do sit here and kind of go, eh.
Yeah, it's not useless. So
No, not at all.
That's a good thing. We've had packs released in the past where you look through the cards and you throw them off to the side because you're never going to use it. You can use this.
I'm whelmed with the card.
Yeah.
I'm not overwhelmed. I'm not underwhelmed. I'm just whelmed.
Yeah, in the grand scheme of this pack, it fits. It's a good card.
Yeah.
It's not at the top tier of this pack.
Nah. Let's go to dorsal phaser array.
Let's do.
This is a 1 per ship. The attack value of this weapon is equal to the ship's primary weapon value, and the cost is equal to the ship's primary weapon value plus 1. Ugh. It has to go on a Federation ship, has to be on a ship of hull value 4+. And you get to attack fire this weapon in any direction at range 1 to 2.
I think it's like an updated version of the one that we already had.
Yeah. I don't want to pay that much. And I guess that's my problem, because we got a dorsal phaser array in Alliance that gave you 3 dice for 3 points.
Yeah.
And let you fire at range 1 to 2. And we actually got this exact same card. This is the exact same card we got way back in the day.
Yep, Enterprise E, I believe.
Yeah. Which, okay, fine. We're good.
Yeah, so from who I've been talking with, when they held Worlds back in 2019, they kind of asked the players that attended, which it wasn't a big crowd that attended that Worlds. Shout out to Scott, who's still reigning as our world champion, technically.
Yes. All hail.
And they asked the group, WizKids asked the group there what they wanted to see in future releases, and one of the things that I was told that came up was reprints of older cards with the newer text.
Sure.
Which, if they go in and they could solve a lot of these text problems by upgrading or by redoing the text and coming out in this format.
Yeah. And so I have zero issue with this card. I don't think it needs the +1 cost. I think it could cost primary weapon value, and it still feels a little overpriced to me.
Yeah, because throwing in a Sovereign that's 6?
6 points.
Yeah.
It could even cost primary weapon.
Yeah, I think you're right. 6 points to throw out a 5 dice attack on a Sovereign.
Yeah. At only range 1 to 2. And you're not getting your range 1 bonus die.
Yeah, that's true.
See, that's what hurts. I feel like it could be attack value +1 for cost +1. If you wanted to go there. Or attack value for cost type thing. I don't know.
Okay.
it's if I'm paying points, I want to get a bigger benefit than just the 360 fire.
Yeah, agreed.
Uh, Again, that's a personal thing. That's just where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, I personally run the Alliance one more than I do this one.
Right, because
Once the Alliance one came out, I put this one up on the shelf.
Because I'm okay paying a few points to get a small attack just to kind of cover my butt, as it were.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, let's look at photon torpedoes, and I believe this is basically a reprint.
Yeah, I'm kind of sad. I mean, I get what they're trying to do, but just between To Boldly Go, Alliance, the starter set, we've got a lot of these torpedoes, and we know these torpedoes are good.
Yeah.
It would have been nice to see them kind of go back to maybe, +1 attack for Prometheus class or something like that.
Sure. I would have even taken a disable version at this point.
Yeah.
But, these are the same ones we've seen. Attack value is ship's primary weapon value +1. You can fire from forward or rear arc at range 2 to 3. You spend your target lock, place 2 time tokens on it, and you convert all your blanks into battle stations for 2 points. Really good torpedoes.
Yep.
Absolutely really good torpedoes. You can stack as many of these on a ship as you want, and they are absolutely free with Sakona.
I think the good news is we only get 1 copy in this pack.
Yes.
Where the other packs, they came with 2 copies. So
yeah.
If they flooded the market with it, and it's really good, like I said, I just kind of wish they would have gone more thematic with this one, maybe.
Sure. Sovereign and Prometheus class get a bonus or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's what it is. It's fine. This one I don't mind as much because I don't feel like I'm getting upsold for something I don't need.
Sure.
All right. The dorsal torpedo pod goes on an Akira class. And when attacking with a Federation torpedoes upgrade, you may target an opposing ship with that torpedoes upgrade, ignoring any firing arcs. That seems fun.
I also think this is from To Boldly Go as well.
I agree. I believe it is. But you know what? Another copy of it? Why not?
Yeah. I'm not knocking it down. In the grand scheme of things, it's a good card.
Yeah. And To Boldly Go was not a massive print run. Is not the easiest thing to find, so why not have another one here in Ships of the Line?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one I'm okay with. It's the torpedo one that I have,
more of an issue with, yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you. All right. Quantum torpedoes. These are fun. Give me quantums. I like my quantums. The attack value of this weapon is the ship's primary weapon value +1. You get to fire it from your forward firing arc and forward only. And again, that makes thematic sense. Most of these ships had 1 quantum launcher and it was in the front.
Yep.
Attack. Spend your ship's target lock token. Disable this card. Target an opposing ship at range 2 to 3. Declare target step. Place an Ox power token beside the defending ship. Thank you. Quantum's needed to do something more. Roll attack die step. For each crit rolled, add 1 hit.
Yes.
Yeah. This upgrade costs +2 if not equipped to a Sovereign, Defiant, Mystery, or I believe that's Akira ship.
Yep.
Now, I've done some detective work, and this mystery icon, let me zoom in here. Zoom in, and zoom in some more. All right, that mystery icon looks exactly like the Luna class, the Titan. So we're starting the rumors and saying USS Titan's coming.
Yep. Let's do it.
So, yeah, we're just going with that. So that aside, Quantum Torpedoes. Fantastic card.
Yes.
3 points.
Yes.
Here's the downside. You get 1 copy of them in this pack.
Yep, that you're right there. You do get one copy.
And I feel like, yes, we will probably see quantum torpedoes again, but this was a time to give us 2 copies of quantum torpedoes.
Yeah.
Like, just to help us out. This was the time to give us 2 copies of this card.
Yeah, I agree.
Because of how good they are.
Yeah, overall, I like all the abilities that are here. I like the text that's here.
Uh-huh.
As you said, Quantum's needed to do something else.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it being a disable.
Absolutely.
Ship's primary weapon +1, perfect for 3 points. Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're talking about a 6 attack dice on a Sovereign class.
Yep.
That's great. Now I did have to clarify what exactly was for each roll and what that meant. So that is your initial roll for crits. That
right.
does not include
conversions.
Conversions. Yeah.
So my question becomes: if you used Picard 8, who rolls 1 less die but sets a crit, does that count?
I want to say yes.
I would think so. Let me see if I can get the exact wording of that Picard.
I think you were close because it is setting a crit.
Picard. Choose a faction. Whenever you attack a ship, you may roll 1 less attack die to add 1 crit result to your roll.
Oh, perfect. Okay, that's even better.
Yeah. I can understand an argument being made against that, but that you're not rolling, it's being added to a roll, but come on, it's Picard. It's Picard on a big ship, attacking something big, setting a crit. Just let it go.
Yep.
You already chose a suboptimal Picard. Let him work for this.
But yeah, I think this is the best version of quantum torpedoes we have.
Yes.
I think it's better than the Alliance version that we just recently got.
Uh-huh.
And for the cost, I like it.
I do too. I am trying to remember what the Alliance version did.
I think it was a Alliance.
Yeah, nobody ever said we were going to be efficient. 6 cost, 5 dice.
Yep.
If you hit the ship at a hit result.
Yeah, and that's good in Alliance.
But you do get to fire from the rear arc with quantums, with the Alliance quantums. I think it's a trade-off. It kind of depends on what you want. If you want consistency, if you want these on a lower value attack ship, then you go with the Alliance quantums. If you want these on the big boy, then you run these quantums.
Well, you from bringing these quantums in. 2 Alliance and quantums.
Fair. Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
All right. We do have one more weapon. But I put these 2 cards together because they're the Prometheus-only cards. Multi-Vector Assault Mode.
This is the card we needed from the beginning.
Yeah. Well, and I'll put it to you this way. I think the team actually had time to design this. They weren't in the 3 or 4 ships in a month fury. They actually had time to play test and get it right. So... yeah, so multi-vector assault mode, attack battle stations. So does that mean you have to have a battle station to use this?
That's a good question, and I was going to reach out, and I didn't.
I think it does. I'm going to think it does. Disable this card, target an opposing ship. After attacking, place 2 mission tokens within range 1. You may make an additional attack with this weapon from each mission token placed by this card in any direction. Remove all mission tokens placed by this card from play after attacking. So this is a 4 attack die uh, weapon. The initial attack is forward or rear arc.
Yep.
I like it. It's 6 points. It's expensive. But you are making 3 attacks with it.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't say that you have to spin the battle stations. My guess is that you have to have a battle station to make the attack. And I'm just looking back at other weapons, and none of them give me any clarity. So.
Yeah. Still, I mean, this is, at the end of the day, this is a 12 dice attack, really.
Yeah. That gets to be defended 3 times, so.
Yeah, of course.
But still, yes, you're putting in some hurt.
It's super fun. Yeah, for 6 points, sure. It's a disable. That's a good thing.
Yeah, it's not a discard.
Right.
And those mission tokens can extend out. Range 1 is 4 inches. It's a decent chunk. You can actually get out, and you don't have to attack the same ship.
Yep.
You can go attack somebody else.
Go back to crew Cisco.
Yep.
He gets rid of a disable from a weapons upgrade.
He does. And that's that's at the start of the combat phase, so it's next turn, but you could be running multi-vector every turn with crew Cisco.
Yep. It is a little sad that we didn't get a multi-vector token.
Yeah.
Instead we're using the mission tokens. I mean, because they could have designed the token to be the same size with, the picture of the 2 parts. But that's nitpicking.
It is.
This is great.
It is.
I'm glad that they took their time and designed this right, got it right, and it's something that I would probably use if I'm going with a Prometheus build.
And we do have some very nice Prometheus ships to use.
Yep.
So I'll take that.
A 3-ship Prometheus fleet. Follow with this.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
All right. The ablative hull armor. This is our Prometheus class only tech. When defending, modify attack dice step. Convert all crits to hits. When defending, deal damage step. Place damage cards this ship would receive under this card max of 3 instead of beside this ship.
Yep. So I do like this.
It's 6 points.
It is 6 points. But I mean, it's doing 2 things for us. I think 2 things that are in their own right would be like their own cards. I think there is an ablative hull armor that came in Alliance, I want to say, that does the first half of this text.
That sounds right.
Or maybe it was to Buligo.
Looking up ablative hull armor.
Yep, ablative armor, convert all, Defiant class only, convert all crits to hits. So, there's a card that exists that does this half. It's cost of 2.
And this is an update of a card that came in the Prometheus pack that cost 7. It did the exact same thing.
Did it? The
Yep.
exact same thing?
Yeah, when defending during the modified defense dice step, convert all your opponent's crit results into hit results. Place all damage cards that your ship receives beneath this card. Once there are 3, discard this card and all damage cards beneath it. So this is actually better because you get to keep the card. You get to keep converting those crits down to hits.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yes. And I do want to point out, with our new Prometheus, these cards, both of them, go from costing 6 down to 4.
Yep, and there's, even more discount shenanigans you can do.
Yes.
Take Hudson, Sakona.
Yeah, because once multi-vector is 5 or less, now Sakona will get it. So multi-vector on Prometheus with Sakona costs 2.
There you go.
That's stupid good.
There
Ablative, not as easy to get cheap. But still, 4 for 3 extra durability plus not taking crits, unless they have a way to back up convert to a crit, which they probably don't. Um, you're gonna live a lot longer. So, I don't love it, but I like it a whole lot more than the original ablative whole armor.
Yes, yeah,
A whole lot more.
definitely.
All right. And there's one last Prometheus upgrade, and that is regenerative shields. Increase this ship's shield value by 1. I like that. In phase, repair 1 shield on this ship. If there are no Ox power tokens beside this ship, you may repair 2 shields on this ship instead. For 4 points.
And 2 points on the Prometheus.
And 2 points on the Prometheus.
I like it. I really do.
I like it too. The Prometheus kind of builds itself. You just got to figure out who to captain it with and what crew to put on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is passive at its best. You know, someone takes a pot shot, they remove 2 shields. In phase, you don't have an Ox power, you're back to full health.
Yep.
It's one of those cards that it does a whole lot for what it. At 4 points, I'm okay with that at 4 points for a regular Prometheus class.
Mm-hmm.
2 points on the Prometheus, it's on my ship no matter what.
I'm okay putting it on the Cerberus, paying 4.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. Like, I think 4 is a fair cost. 2 is crazy.
Yes.
Yeah. Crazy in a good way.
All right. The other tech here, multiphasic shielding. Increase the ship's shield value by 1. As long as this ship has active shields, crew and captain equipped to this ship cannot be affected by opposing upgrades. Well, that's some nice gank protection.
Yeah, that. Oof.
Now, projected stasis field still does what it needs to do, but...
I mean, we're talking, you're busting up the Gold Madrid combo that's out there.
Yeah.
Jennifer Cisco.
Yeah, you're immune from Gen Cisco.
Koth.
Uh-huh. Well, Koth will still target everything else, but you're at least one ship safe from Koth.
Yeah.
So yeah, you put Gen Cisco on your multiphasic shielding ship, so now your Gen Cisco doesn't get Gen Cisco'd or Kothed.
Oh. Yeah, that's where I see this going now that you say that.
Aha! Sorry, I know you can't see my cam. I did a Tusken Raider lift my hands up thing.
Everybody's going to have their Gen Ciscos protected from one another.
Well, you know what? Okay, so metaphasic shielding just potentially redefined the entire meta. It's the way I wanted Mazzotti to do it.
Okay.
You know, Mazzotti was a Borg crew that said whenever the effect of a crew upgrade would target this ship, discard this card and target the crew upgrade instead. Disable target crew upgrade and cancel its effect.
Yep.
But Mazzotti never really caught on, and I understand. I understand what happened there. It's too limited. But multiphasic shielding protects.
Yeah, from the start.
From the start. So, now we're going to need a counter to multiphasic shielding where you can disable shields from afar.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe you could you second a 5 it?
No, because... Oh, you could second a 5 multiphasic shields? Yeah. No? Oh, yeah, because multiphasic shielding is a tech.
Yep.
So, yeah, you have to second a 5 the tech away first. Then you can do stuff.
You know, that's eating up a use of second of 5.
Yep. And multiphasic shielding is not useful unto itself.
Right.
Other than having a bonus shield. Oh, the creative juices are back. Multiphasic shielding is messy though. That it's in a good way. That's going to change a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Good card.
Multi-spectrum shielding. So this is, if not on a Federation ship, it costs 1 extra point.
Yes.
Okay. My symbology is messy, and some of that gets a little messier. Increase the ship's shield value by 1.
Those symbols are new.
Okay. That's why. So yeah, 3-point tech, you get a bonus shield, and as long as this ship has active shields, opposing tech upgrades cannot target this ship. Not a ton of tech that targets. Tiny bit of tech that targets, but not a ton.
Well, okay. Projected stasis field.
Sure, yeah.
Well, that's the big one.
That is the big one. Even the fact that PSF can be negated by multi-spectrum shielding. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
The question is, how many multi-spectrum shieldings do you want? How many multiphasic shieldings do you want? You want more than one, but it's totally unique, so you only can have one.
Yeah, they're 1 per ship.
Multiphasic? Yeah, multi-spectrum is 1 per ship. Multiphasic is unique.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I'm glad multiphasic is unique, because otherwise you would seriously consider getting multiples of this pack.
I can see it being on every ship if it was 1 per ship.
Yes, multi-spectrum. I think you can get away with only needing 1, maybe 2. Reasons to have 2, but yeah. I like it. I don't hate the card. You know, you kind of figure you pay 2 points for an extra shield. And getting a 1-point ability to protect you from tech upgrades. Okay. It really just depends on how frequently you see projected stasis field in your meta.
Yeah, that's true.
That's going to determine the value of this card. But I like the picture on it. It's a good picture.
I'll tell you, the art for this pack is really good.
Yeah.
I just kind of wish it wasn't half dark as it is.
Yeah, it needed to be brightened up just a tiny bit. Like on the EMH Mark 1. Now, this is the EMH from the Enterprise E in First Contact. I can tell you that much. I know from the shoulder pads.
Yep. This is not the Doctor.
It is not the Doctor. It is Robert Picardo, but it is not the Doctor. This counts as a crew or a tech upgrade. We've seen this before, where the MH can be crew or machinery. You get to make the philosophical decision, is he a person or not? Action, disable this card. Remove all time token upgrades from each crew upgrade equipped to this ship. For 3 points, limit 1 per ship. I mean, he's a combo enabler.
Is a combo enabler, and more importantly, we've reached the day where Optronic Data Core is now useful.
I didn't think it was coming.
This is a question upgrade that has an action. That's exactly what Data Optronic Core was made for.
Okay, now I gotta bring that up. So
activation phase, place 3 time tokens on this card. Perform the action on a question upgrade equipped to this ship as a free action. Activation phase, disable this card, remove a disable token from a question upgrade equipped to this ship. So one half of this data core we can use.
Actually, we can do both, because it has the EMH will have a disable on it, and we could disable the data core to remove the disable from the Mark 1.
There we go.
It actually totally fits.
We got it.
No, I'm not sure it's worth it.
Yeah, I wasn't saying that.
But at least Optronic Data Core has a use. Um, it's something, right?
I'm trying to remember when that came out.
Was that part of the Gorn card pack?
Was it?
I feel like it was.
No, it wasn't the Corn Pack. I thought it was a Motley. Maybe it was a Hirogen hunting vessel. Yep. Card pack 4, Hirogen hunting vessel.
Ah, okay.
So it's been a while. I mean, this is pre Kelvin timeline, pre Motley Fleet.
Yikes.
Still, finally, we're here. We've reached it.
Okay. Starship Construction Reference Card. We've been talking about them. Let's talk about what they actually do. Starship Construction cards are cards featuring the hook symbol. They don't count as upgrades, meaning you can't target them because they're not upgrades. A ship may only have one construction card equipped. You don't pay a faction penalty when equipping a construction card to a ship. And construction cards represent various versions of ships, such as prototypes, refits, retrofits, and mission-specific alterations. Runabouts?
Ooh, maybe.
Right. We had the science version, the combat version.
Yeah, this is definitely future proofing.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
When you're talking about retrofits, the first thing that comes to mind is Excelsior classes.
Yes.
You know, the USS Dakota was a retrofit.
Now, I do want to note something here. These cards have a 2021 copyright date, meaning they got published a while ago. That's how long we had, or WizKids had delays and shipping issues. You know, even give them the benefit of the doubt that all this stuff got finalized in December. It was a year of delays. So
yeah, and you know that's not 100% a bad thing either.
No.
Because they gave them time to test play things over and over and over again to make sure that these things were right.
Yeah.
So it's not terrible. Like, it's not ideal to have delays and then not talk to the community. And, you know, surprise, we're dropping this on November 30th type thing. But I appreciate the fact that even though there are delays, that the playtesters went back and played everything to make sure that everything was good and that it all worked.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Okay, so we get the Federation prototype and we get 4 copies of it.
Yes.
It is a 1-point card, 1 per ship. This card can only be equipped to a unique ship whose name, ignoring registry number, listed after USS is the same as the ship class. You get to add a tech, weapon, or crew to the ship's upgrade bar. When defending, modify defense die step, you may re-roll 1 blank or battle station.
Right. So, the card has a very specific way it can be equipped. You know, it has to have this. The name has to have the same name as the class name. So I did look into it when I was preparing to make this video with you, and I found 7 classes that we can use this on.
Okay.
4 of them are already in this pack. Right, so we're talking Prometheus, Sovereign, Saber, Akira.
Okay.
USS Defiant.
Love it.
Class is the other one.
Very, very good defensive ability. Synergize as well.
USS Excelsior.
Ooh.
So that's 6.
That's going to benefit from tech or crew, or even a weapon.
Yep. Now, the 7th one is a bit of a wild card.
My favorite, by the way.
And it's the USS Dauntless.
Yeah.
Even though it's not a Fed ship and it's independent, it fits the criteria, has the USS in the name, and it matches the ship class description.
It does. Now, the Dauntless only comes with tech slots. So being able to slot a crew or a weapon onto Dauntless uh, opens up a ton of possibilities.
Yep.
I don't think it breaks it.
No, no.
Because you could already kind of do it with any captain that added a slot. Picard 8 added a slot. So it's not like Dauntless was impossible to add stuff to.
Nope. Makes it fun.
It does make it fun. It makes it
Yep.
very fun.
One point doesn't take up a slot.
No. And I like the nod, whether it's intentional or not, to Prodigy.
Yep.
And I won't do spoilers because I know people get upset about the spoilers. I will just simply leave it at it's a nod to Prodigy.
Very underrated show.
Yes. And now here's the nice thing. Federation Prototype is future-proofed unto itself. Because
Very much so.
if we get a USS Prodigy, Federation Prototype can go on it. If we get the Luna and the Titan, well, this works for it.
I mean, USS Galaxy,
Yep.
go older ships, drop those too.
Lots of potential where it's very easy to go back and add them as part of any faction pack.
Yeah.
But still, to have a card come in where it works on 7 named ships and decently good ships too. People play Defiant, kind
Yep.
of. Mission play, at least. Sao Paulo is a much better ship now.
Sure.
And maybe that was intentional, knowing that this was coming. They didn't rename it the Defiant. They left it as Sao Paulo.
Good point.
Just a thought. I do want to point out, I have a scan of the token boards, and we do get a shipyard or a construction bay token.
Yep.
No initial idea of what that is, and we also get a new objective token with a science station on the back side of it.
Yep. So this pack comes with the head-to-head campaign booklet
Ah,
in
okay.
lieu of mission cards.
Okay.
So I have a feeling that because I haven't seen the booklet yet, I have a feeling that those tokens are specifically tied to that.
Cool.
But also we get a nice Michev token that looks a little bit different too.
Yeah. I did not put those in on the images here, but
Oh yeah.
But yeah, lots of good stuff. I enjoy what this pack has. So overall thoughts, Jerry. What are you excited about?
I'm very excited about this pack, and I know I say that about every pack, but this pack in particular feels like it was well thought out. Whether that was intentional or because of the delays, how long this pack has been in production, it feels like it's well thought out. It feels like we've got new things happening with the ships. New upgrade, something that's future proof that they can use in the future. And on top of that, they're playing with the abilities and doing different things like the Saber's ability, where it's dependent upon the range, and how many ships are inside of that range. Like it's little things like that um, that make me excited to play these ships because they're not the same. That you don't find abilities repeating, or it's not the same ability as this ship. That's just a little bit different. So overall, I'm excited, and I think this pack has a lot of good cards in it, and it's probably one of the better faction packs that we have received lately.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. There are so many things where I just sit here and I go, I want to try that. And I think the Blood Oath pack did that for me. but it was limited to a few cards. This has a lot of cards where I sit here and I go, I want to try that. Maybe this is only a piece of a puzzle. Maybe this is a piece that's going to show up later. But there's a lot of cards that have some good utility. And I think more so than hyper competitive play, this has me excited to get into playing missions and really using a lot of these different cards. Which is weird, right? Like, I guess my takeaway is these packs are being designed for every aspect of the game. There are a lot of cards in here to love if you are a hyper competitive player. There are a lot of cards in here to love if you are here because you love Star Trek. And there are a lot of cards to love here if you play this game sitting across the table from your buddies and you're not out to crush them and be the best, but you're there to have fun. And you're there to have an experience that maybe mirrors the show in some way or lets you play some what if. And I think that's exciting to get a lot of those different perspectives. And like the Prometheus cards, they speak towards care. Care about what's coming into the game. That are they more powerful than things used to be? Yes. Are they broken and completely changing the scope of everything? No, I don't think so. I think that that powerful ships should have powerful upgrades and should be powerful. And to me, it's a good philosophy approach that they seem to be operating under.
Yeah.
And maybe that's more philosophical than I want to get into here in a review, but I like the direction it's heading, and I like what they show. I am excited about Starship construction cards. I want to see more of them. I wish there was even more Starship construction here in Ships of the Line. I would have loved... I would take at this point a card pack of 20 Starship construction cards. I don't think it'll happen, but I'd love to see it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and I think kudos to the playtesters, the people who have designed these cards. I think they're cued into what we want, and they're listening. And it's finally starting to show.
Yes. So, I know this has been long. I know this is probably longer than anyone will sit and listen to, over 2 hours. But I think that shows our excitement for what's here. And that's a really good thing. That this pack has this much stuff in it that's this good that we wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
And I think there was maybe 1 or 2 cards we kind of went on. And the rest we're genuinely excited for.
Yeah, and the cards that we went I mean, the cards that we've had already. It's not like they haven't been reviewed and they haven't been used yet. Nobody's used them yet.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they... All the other cards, I'm excited.
Exactly. So, that is Ships of the Line. And when you get one faction pack, you're getting another. So, that's another video. But stay tuned for that. That's going to come out shortly. Thank you all for watching, for listening. And we'll see you shortly for the Tal Shiar. All right. Thank you all.